welcome to Olean Speaks for Itself. Today we'll take a look at City of Olean itself and everything that makes it the area we live in and love. Stay tuned for exclusive group discussions with our special guest. Joining us in the studio today is this group of panelists with knowledge running from education, manufacturing, and city government. Our first guest is a member of the community with involvement across the art world, from theater to Tri-County Arts Council. Welcome, Paula Bernstein. For our Authority of Manufacturing, we have a member of Dream It, Do It. It's Olean, and who works closely with area youth, trying to get them involved with manufacturing and trade jobs, as well as getting women involved in STEM. Welcome, Evelyn Sabrina. Looking at the world of education, we are joined by a 2011 graduate of SUNY JCC. He is now a director of health services and works closely with JCC on their Olean campus. Welcome, Roger Johnson. This panelist community involvement is far-reaching and services people all across our country. Works with interfaith caregivers and medical line supply cloths. Welcome, Julie Hall. Before we talk about Olean today, let's take a look at Olean in the past with Nico from Studio 6.
New York has a vast history spanning centuries. On Olean speaks for itself. Beginning years. After the Revolutionary War in 1804, Olean was founded. The first mayor was Revolutionary War officer Adam Hoopes. The name Olean comes from the Latin word for oil, oleum. For many years, oil was the biggest product Olean made. During the Roaring '20s, Olean gained neutrality as a stop on bootlegging routes. Notorious gang leader Al Capone visited Olean, nicknaming it Little Chicago. James Boyd, American Confederate military officer, also another person who founded Olean, who was alleged in a conspiracy theory to have been killed in the place of John Wilkes Booth, the assassin of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, due to their resemblance. Here's another thing you should know about Olean, New York. You should know that it is located deep in the enchanted mountains of western New York. It was founded in 1804. It created a doorway to the west. He attended Hill School, Princeton, and Trinity College, served in the U.S. Army Armless Service during World War I. He also published short stories, poems, and plays.
Olean is the most populated town in Cattaraugus County, and its culture is just as diverse. Let's join Blake as he takes a closer look.
The culture of Olean is one of the most important aspects of the city. There are many festivals and events throughout the year that add to that culture.
From the widespread garage sale day to the Santa Claus Lane Parade, there is a lot going on in Olean. Let's see what some locals have to say about the culture and events of Olean.
How long have you lived in Olean?
14 years.
How would you describe Olean's culture?
When I first moved here, I would say that Olean had no culture because I came from the city. And then I think over the last 14 years, Olean has changed a little bit. It's a little bit more vibrant.
Have you been to any of the events in Olean, like the Santa Claus Lane Parade or the Garage Sale Day?
Yeah, yeah. I've taken my kids. I've been to the farmers market. Think about what else. Various rallies that happen in Olean.
Do you think the events add to Olean's culture?
Yeah, I think it has changed and added some culture to Olean, creating kind of a more metropolitan environment.
Many residents value the rich culture of Olean, including Della Moore, who is a director of the African American Center for Cultural Development in Olean.
Being together and all of us contributing what we are and what we know to make the whole and to make the world a better place. Every person you meet, every human being is a history. That's all.
We asked about the center, and this is what she had to say.
Awesome. It has been beautiful. I mean, it's allowed people to come together. It allowed people to contribute, which I'm grateful for, and also support and share.
So there you have it. The culture and all the festivities make Olean feel more lively and brings the community together. I've been Blake, and Olean speaks for itself.
Olean is an area with growing diversity. How would you describe Olean's culture?
Well, I'll take that question first. My name is Paula Bernstein, and I'm the Executive Director of the Tri-County Arts Council, and it's my job to help with the arts and culture scene of not only Olean, but all of Cattaraugus and Chautauqua and Allegheny County. In that package that we just saw, thank you so much for showing off the two murals that we did, the first one at JCC at their library building, and then the one at the rec center that we completed last summer. I think those pieces really add to the culture of Olean. Also in that package was the sculpture that was given dedication to the hospitality history here at Olean in Lincoln Park. So I think every day, every week, every month, every year, we're adding to the culture of Olean in very positive ways, and it's so exciting to see where we're going to end up.
Thank you. What festivals and events do you look forward to each year?
One of my favorite festivals is the St. John's Festival because I love Italian food. And I think the vast array of festivals that we enjoy every year is representative of the inclusive nature of our community. So we have festivals that boast Greek food, and festivals that boast Polish food, and festivals that boast Italian food. And so I am a huge supporter of cultural diversity. I think that the presence of two institutions of higher education, Jamestown Community College and St. Bonaventure University, certainly bring a sense of culture and diversity through their programs, their galleries, their community outreach, their on-campus opportunities. So I feel very blessed to be in a tiny community that truly embraces cultural differences and truly embraces a sense of inclusiveness.
Thank you. What is something Olean can do to improve the culture?
I mean, I guess I could take that. I wouldn't say that Olean would need to do much. I feel that Olean has what it needs as a small community. When we leave and we go to areas like Buffalo, you see certain things that you shouldn't see. And I'm not saying that we don't see it here, but I think we have something great here in Olean. I am a transplant here. I came here in 2022 from New Jersey. And at first, I missed, the big city. I missed being able to go to 4 different malls, you know, within, I would say, a half hour in either direction. But I've come to love what Olean is. We are adding things like, you know, Starbucks. We have, you know, Chipotle and all these other big box types places here in Olean. I think Olean is doing good for itself.
Every city and town has its own government with unique perspectives, and Olean is not excluded. Let's go more in depth with this with David.
Olean speaks on government. Over these past few years, Olean has been making steady improvements among the city. For instance, as of June 2023, a $12.5 million project to restore the 1915 First National Bank building was completed. This isn't even including the new businesses opening and restoring. The recent Common Council meeting as of May 2024, the mayor is entering a consulting agreement with Plywood Studios for the cost of relocating the current John J. Ashe Community Center into the Olean Mall. We talked with Tim Emily on these current advances in the city.
I'm the criminal justice instructor here at the Olean BOCES Center. I've been here 24 years. I'm also former mayor of the village of Portville and now currently the town supervisor of Portville for going on, I think, 12 years now. In the city of Olean, primarily, very impressed with them. Come a long way in the last decade for sure. I'm a fan of the roundabouts, even though some folks are not. I am. I think it gets from one end of the city to the other rather quickly, except for, you know, during lunch hour. I've been going down to that city my whole life, buying from local stores down there.
And if there was one thing you could change about Olean, what would that be?
You know, I did think about that day prior to being interviewed, and I'm going to say there's nothing. The changes have already been made. The improvements of downtown, you know, the way the buildings look, how clean it is. So those things have already been taken care of, and I'm pretty proud. Yep.
Compared to these installments, a new local law is extending a suspension on the creation of solar farms and energy production facilities. But since then, recent developments have transpired. Many things are happening in Olean. Make sure to keep up to date and stay in the know.
What is your opinion on the current trend of improvements and renovations happening in Olean, such as the walkable Olean?
Thank you. I'm Evelyn Sabina, Executive Director of Dream It, Do It. And I think the improvements in the walkable Olean has made such a major difference. My son came back, he lives in Chicago now, and he came back one day and sat down in one of the restaurants and had brought some of his friends from Chicago, and they were so impressed. And my son was saying, "This is Olean?" It wasn't what it was like when he was here before. So it's made such a major difference. It's also so nice when you walk down the street and you see all the lovely new facades on the buildings and the roundabouts, all of the botanical little gardens that we have. It's just beautiful. I think it's made a major difference.
If there was something you could change about Olean, what would it be?
I'll speak just again and then I can pass it along. I don't think I have much to say about that. Like Mr. Johnson, I am a transplant. I came here a few years ago, and we came here very young. We had a young family, and we came from the Toronto area, so like you, it was quite different. And I said to my husband, 2 years, I'm out of here. I don't know if I can take this. That was 33 years ago. So what has happened with Olean is it's just a beautiful community. It's welcoming. There are so many people, and the culture is very different from other towns. I think it's so welcoming. People help each other. People are looking out for each other. We have all of our new businesses and our companies and our manufacturers that are welcoming people into the area. So I would have a hard time saying there was anything I wanted changed now.
Julie Hall, Interfaith Caregivers. So I'm a lifelong resident. I grew up in Olean and made it 2 miles down the road to Allegheny, where I currently live. And not that I want to change anything, it is my hope that the trajectory continues. And so the renovations of the older buildings, such as the quote-unquote Manny Hanny building, if you grew up here, you would know, the great big bank on the corner in the middle of town, bringing that from its history to the modern apartments is just an enormous feat, and an enormous bragging point, hallmark of our community. Some of the buildings at the other end of Union Street, where the bridal shop went in, and down, I think there's a Kaleidoscope. There's a store called Kaleidoscope. Again, very old buildings that have kept the charm of yesteryear, but now have time hopped into current Olean and hopefully future Olean. We have so many assets and resources here. Our topography is beautiful. Every time I look out at the mountains surrounding us, there's something so protective about those mountains, probably literally and figuratively with storms and things. Our fall season is truly nothing short of spectacular. I believe that the summer months, weather-wise, I don't know that you can find another part of the country that enjoys nicer summer weather than here in Western New York. We are very blessed to have so much fresh water near us with our Great Lakes. Fresh water is becoming a very valued natural resource, but probably the biggest resource in the community is its people, and the people who are truly committed and dedicated to seeing the community thrive. And that's a cross-section across education, religion, business, economics, arts and culture, philanthropy, human services. And I would hope that we continue on the path that we're on, but also do a better job at boasting and bragging about our community and the resources and the people that we have. We have some extraordinary people helping us along the way, and they're pretty committed and pretty dedicated. I think that's pretty extraordinary. So.
Is there any future developments you would like to see?
I guess adding to this and attaching to the last question, I would say continue with our trajectory. I would say adding some of the, I guess, stores and opportunities that we have in the bigger cities would be good. And I look at this, let's say, from a medical standpoint. A lot of the doctors and let's say your specialists that come into the area, they come here because there's some kind of a need, whether it to be them getting a visa or for them finishing up their schooling, and then they transfer back to the big cities. I feel that some of the stores that we've added complement some of our local offerings and bring folks here. And I figure if we could add some more, we don't want all that they have, but if we could add some more, maybe we could keep some of those specialists, especially because we're suffering for medical providers and specialists in our areas. Most have to travel to Buffalo. I worked in the ER at Olean General for 6 years, and you don't know how many times we had to transfer our veterans all the way up to Buffalo. We had to transfer folks from not only Olean, but our surrounding regions, all the way to Buffalo, with them wondering how they're going to get back here. And I feel that if we continue on this trajectory of adding some of those offerings that we have up north and other places, maybe we'll be able to have them come and bring their families and remain here.
Taking into contact everything said so far, Olean has some thriving local businesses like Let's join Jackson with an exclusive look at one of the biggest and most respected local businesses in town.
One of the most prominent aspects of Olean, New York is its local businesses. From family-owned farmers markets to costume stores, Olean, New York has so much to offer. One of the most prominent businesses in the area, however, is the Beef and Barrel. Let's join David and interview one of the owners on what it's like to own a business in the area.
My name is Michael McAfee. There's 3 owners at the restaurant. There's my father, my brother PJ, and myself. How would I describe the Beef and Barrel? Casual, family-friendly, reasonable, good quality food. Everything's homemade from scratch. Community support. You know, the community's been behind us since day one. They've seen us grow over 53 years. Like during the COVID, they really supported us a lot where, you know, obviously we were all kind of tied down for a while and you could only do takeouts. So for an example, we weren't really sure how that was going to affect the everyday business. And it was very generously supported, and we opened 7 days a week and made it through that hopefully period of time that nobody ever has to go through again as far as quality of life. You know, we get a lot from St. Bonaventure, the local high schools. Being in a small town, it just helps because everybody kind of helps out everyone else. I think it boils down to the community support. It's a nice area to have a business. No, I mean, I think we're very fortunate that we've made it 53 years in a family business. We've got people that have been with us 20, 30, 40 plus years. I think that really helps.
So there you have it. Olean is a thriving community filled with local businesses. I've been your host, David, and Olean spoke for itself.
When you think of local businesses in the area, and feel free to self-promote, what comes to mind?
Certainly take that one. Yeah, I got you. So right next to the Tri-County Arts Council, we are in a partnership opening up a new coffee shop, Rocket Cup Coffee. It's opening this Saturday, and I couldn't be more excited. For those people who have been here for a while, you might remember Jumpin' Juice and Java, which was on North Union Street. And that's how I feel like this establishment is going to be, and I couldn't be more excited to have it literally right next to me. I haven't counted the steps yet, but I believe it's 12 steps from my door to their door. I already have my mug for my coffee. So I'm very excited to have new development on West State Street. A lot of times I feel like in Olean we focus on North Union, and it's nice to see that we're turning that corner. And I'm very excited about all the things that are happening, not only at Tri-County and Rocket Cup, but also with us being now in partnership to use the first floor and the mezzanine section of the First National Bank, otherwise known as Manny-Hanny. So we'll be developing some things in that space. So I guess technically I just wanted to brag that I'm taking over the entire 100 block of West State Street. But I am so excited about the businesses in Olean. I went to lunch yesterday at the Beef and Barrel. It was delicious. I would like a salad now. But I feel like Olean is just growing with all of the new businesses that we have throughout all of the streets of Olean, and I'm just so excited about the Starbucks and the cafe and everything that's happening, because as a consumer of Olean, I want to consume more.
Yes, well, other businesses that we have in the area are manufacturers, and a number of the manufacturers are growing considerably and are in need of employees. And healthcare is number 1 employer in the area, manufacturers is number 2, and education is number 3. So in the manufacturing field, there are so many job opportunities coming up, which then bring more people into the area, and then our community can grow. So with our manufacturers growing, we have to make sure that we support our manufacturers and make sure that we get the employees so that they can grow and our community can grow.
And keeping with the manufacturing, at Jamestown Community College here in Olean, we have our Manufacturing Technology Institute, which train individuals, you know, in like CNC machining, HVAC, plumbing, and these are putting people right out into the job market to support some of our local manufacturers.
What are some challenges that Olean's local businesses are figuring? And do you think can be done to do better to support them?
I'll just speak to that quickly. Is number one concern is finding employees. And that's what we're doing at Dream It, Do It. We are starting, and we work with JCC, we work with Bonaventure, Pitt Bradford, and with BOCES. We work a great deal with BOCES and making sure that the students at BOCES and at JCC know of the opportunities. So we're starting with the younger students, you know, in middle school, making them aware of the opportunities that are here, and then encouraging them to go on to BOCES to get the training and the specific skills. And then when they go after BOCES, they can go on to JCC to get their degrees, and then out into the workforce where we have some terrific jobs here.
So I think that there are some barriers to the growth of Olean. I think that steps are being taken to address that. To piggyback on Mr. Johnson's comment, transportation is definitely a concern. We have to be able to get folks to and from work in order for them to fully participate. Transportation is also an issue to access medical care, to use the walkable Olean, all the stores and coffee shops and things. So transportation is something that our community is looking at. Folks in the community at the county level, the city level, and even at the state level are aware of the challenges that we have here, and some ideas are being teased out and some plans being put in place. In addition to transportation, housing is also an issue. So you have to have enough housing that is priced at a price point that employees can afford. So if a potential employee thinks that Olean is good for his or her family, i.e. education, housing, medical care, it's more likely that you're going to retain them. So some of these infrastructure pieces definitely need to continue to be improved, but there is an awareness. There are great things happening. There are, at this time, several housing development projects going on right now. One is actually coming to fruition, I believe, next week on East State Street. So yeah, we're not perfect. We need to provide a stable and healthy work-life balance to attract and retain employees.
As many of you are business owners, would you say the future of Olean's local businesses development is bright?
I would say it's very bright. As the other three mentioned, there are definitely challenges when it comes to retaining employees, transportation, housing. But at the end of the day, we have so many positive aspects here in Olean. We have a great community. We have a city government that's willing to, you know, take a risk. If we think back 7 years ago, you know, North Union Street did not look that way, and we took a risk. We received our Tiger Grant through the leadership of the city, and now we have all of the beautiful things that we spoke about earlier on North Union Street. So we have people who are making things happen every day. There's so many positive things happening in the city. So I feel like
those positive aspects will just continue to grow and lead us to a brighter place.
Something else that's very exciting that's happening is the Lane Business Accelerator. There is something that we're doing each year through Olean Business Development and encouraging startup companies and entrepreneurs. And actually Rocket Cup is one of the startups, but there are a number of startups in our area. And to Mr. Johnson's point, this is bringing new businesses here, which is appealing to people coming in from cities to see these startups. But this is through the Lane Business Accelerator. Every year there are about 10 businesses that are going through the program, and they're given all sorts of advice and challenges and information about how to grow their businesses, and that is something that's really exciting here in this area.
To Evelyn, with your time with Dream It, Do It, how are you working to improve the world of manufacturing in Olean? And with that, getting the young people involved with manufacturing and trades?
Well, through Dream It, Do It, it's sort of like a triangle. We work with our local manufacturers. We work with our colleges and universities, especially JCC, and we work with our local schools, including BOCES. So we try to get them all in communication with each other, meet with each other, be aware of each other, and we're doing all sorts of events. And one of them, of course, is Girls in Manufacturing. We're trying to encourage the fact that women are in manufacturing as well, and there are all sorts of places for women in manufacturing. We also have our manufacturing fair each year, which we just had, and we have places like JCC that have booths there and all the different companies so that the students can be aware of the opportunities. We also do our summer teacher program, which makes the teachers aware, and then they go out and speak to their students and their schools. We have our summer internship program. We have our soapbox derby. Our soapbox derby is coming up. We are going to Jamestown to race June 1st. But then we also have brought back, after 50 years, we've brought back the soapbox derby to Olean. And that is something that our manufacturers have supported, because the students, what they're doing is a lot of hands-on activities in building the cars and understanding the physics and so on, and teamwork. And I know I've missed many of the things that we are doing, but it's, like I said, if we keep the sharing resources between our little triangle here, this is what makes it grow and makes people aware and allows the manufacturers to have future employees.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
In media communications technology, students will learn to be designers in ever-changing world of digital art and design. Students will learn software like Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, InDesign, and Illustrator. Students will also learn studio photography and photo retouching. You'll also be exposed to things like animation, video game design, and 3D printing. Get involved in the world of digital art and design today in media communications technology. In media communications technology, students will learn to be designers in ever-changing world of digital art and design.
Craving something sweet? La Dolce Vita is a local bakery and cafe that is sure to put a smile on your face, even on your rainiest of days.
La Dolce Vita, bad days end here.
welcome back. And with all these employers in the area, one would think Olean's job market is also thriving, which you'd be right. Our very own Studio 6, very own Zach and Dylan will speak more on this topic. Olean's historic job.
There has been many new businesses appearing in Olean, which has created an historic job growth. Here are some of those businesses. Hello, I am here with Gunna.
Hello.
Gunna, what are your thoughts on new jobs appearing in Olean?
I think it's a great thing, good thing for the economy, and great for the unemployed.
Gunna, are there any new jobs that you would like to see in Olean, like any new businesses or what?
Yes, new establishments, new grocery stores that are affordable for people who aren't able to afford it.
Thank you, Gunna.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm here with Mr. Todd.
Hello.
Mr. Todd, what are your thoughts on new jobs appearing in the Olean area?
Well, it's good to see some new businesses coming in, but these are just small businesses that, will employ a few, but I think we need to have bigger businesses coming in. But it's good to see the growth.
Are there any other jobs that you would like to see in Olean?
I'm not specific jobs. I don't know of any specific jobs I'd like to see, but I'd like to see some new businesses come in where students that are graduating will have a chance to obtain a good career in, not just like the fast food that we see is coming in. So yeah, there needs to be bigger industries coming in.
Thank you, Mr. Todd.
All right, thanks.
Oh, I'm here with Miss C.
Hello.
Miss C, what are your thoughts on new jobs appearing in Olean?
Are there new jobs? Chipotle. I just went to Chipotle in Olean. It was good. I enjoyed it. The people were friendly. I don't know about other jobs, new jobs. There's supposed to be a Starbucks, but, I haven't seen that yet.
Do you have any new ideas of new jobs that should be in the area?
I'm currently looking for a rural poster mail carrier position, so I'd be interested in that.
Thank you, Miss C.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm here with Colin.
Hello.
Colin, what are your thoughts on the new jobs appearing in Olean?
Well, I think they're great for new job opportunities for especially young kids who want to get jobs and want to get paid.
Colin, are there any new jobs that you would like to see in the Olean area?
Well, I would like to see more restaurants being put in because, as we know, Olean is kind of dying down, but we would like to see it be built back up as a good city.
Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome.
Now that you have seen some of the new jobs around the area, what are some jobs you would like to see come to Olean?
So, do you believe since the opening of both chain businesses and local businesses that Olean is a great place to find work?
Well, definitely. It's a great place to find work. And yes, there are some great service jobs, but there are also many jobs in manufacturing. BOCES and JCC have been working to build up their welding students. They actually expanded the welding program at BOCES and are expanding it at JCC as well because companies like Great Lakes Cheese are expanding, Lungstrom out in Wellsville. Also, Chimilai, HY, is looking for welders and machinists and so on. So there are many, many job opportunities available. And the colleges and BOCES are working hard to make sure that the students gain those skills to be able to have those jobs and to eventually live the lifestyle of their dreams because these jobs are they can get a very lucrative career.
Well, do you feel Olean has more potential for job growth, or is it at a stable position?
More potential, meaning we could bring in more businesses, definitely. But to Mr. Johnson's point, we have to make sure that Olean, Olean is the place to be and make people realize that. And that, yes, we don't have as many stores or restaurants and so on as some of the cities do, but some of the other things around here outweigh that, I think, personally. As Julie was saying about our beautiful topography, about all of the opportunities that we have. It's a beautiful, friendly community to live in, and you're not honking cars and so on and so forth in the big city. So I think that if people realize how wonderful a community and friendly a community this is, and come here, we could be building and thriving. Anything else, Mr. Johnson?
I agree. Yes, and as I said before, it would be great to have a few more, but not enough to where it's gonna overcrowd. Um, I feel that when you invite too many, you might also get the folks that might turn only into what we don't want it to be.
Well, on the same thread, do you feel like students immediately coming out of, graduation should immediately join, say, the workforce, or if they're beneficial going to colleges, or, vice versa?
I believe that it is it will be up to that individual on their family needs. Let's say our nursing program, which we're very proud of at JCC, which, by the way, I'm going to brag. Our graduating class of nurses on both campuses exceeded and had a 100% pass rate on the New York State Boards of Nursing exam. And we are wishing for the same for our group that graduated just last week. I don't know. I think I'll end it there.
I see what you're saying about it depends on the person, but there are opportunities for all. There are opportunities for people who want to come straight out of school, especially if they've come to BOCES and they have some kind of skilled trades. So once they're finished high school, there are jobs available. But then if they go to JCC and obtain skills and training in HVAC and certification in machining, welding, HVAC, then there are jobs available. And the other thing with the JCC is that they can go to JCC, and then if they want to continue, they go on to Bonaventure and obtain a degree. And a lot of our businesses are in need of accountants, marketers, and then of course in the medical field and so on. So this progress, this pathway is very important. Some may graduate, go off to work, that's fine. Some may continue, go on to JCC, that's fine. So it's up to the individual, but I think it's wonderful here how we have all of those opportunities available.
And I might add also, in supporting those who are also out working, JCC also offers micro-credentialing and direct support professionals. And these are the folks that work for In Tandem, taking care of people in need in our community.
Okay. Well, with such a large population for seemingly a short amount of space, some kind of entertainment is needed. Let's take an inside look at the local theater in Olean.
Art in Olean, New York is abundant if you know where to look. We have plenty of places and programs to satisfy your creative muse. I'm standing in front of the Tri-County Arts Council, home of some excellent art and amazing artists. Here they do all kinds of work such as sculpting and painting. All around Olean we have squirrel statues littered throughout, like this one right here, and this one here, and this one. This is Beat City, our local music shop. But this place isn't just a music shop. They give guitar lessons and have a program to play guitar with others and eat pizza. As a guitarist myself, I find it pretty amazing. This is the Olean Community Theater. Here they perform live entertainment for the public. Currently, they're holding auditions for Matilda in Matilda the Musical. That has been my look into Olean. Let's pass this on to Joey and take a look into the minds of the public.
Hello everybody, my name is Joey DePody. I'm here with Jake Riggs, and today we're going to be talking about live theater in Olean. How are you doing today, Jake?
I'm doing very well. And yourself, Joey?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
So, Jake, live theater in Olean, it's been prominent for many years.
Absolutely.
How long have you been doing it?
In Olean, about 17 years now, I believe. The first show I did in the area was Shakespeare in the Park. Much Ado About Nothing. I played the sheriff, I think. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And speaking of that, this summer, Shakespeare in the Park will be Much Ado About Nothing, and we haven't done it since then, so it's been 17 years since we've done this show. And the last time I was in it, this time I'm directing it, so come on out and have some fun.
You know I'll be here.
All right.
As you can see, Olean is rich in art, theater, and music. Even the public thinks so.
Funny, that's my friend Jake that was in that package, so can't wait to see Shakespeare in the Park this year in Oak Hill Park. One of the wonderful things that the city was able to do with their development money was to add not only a dog park to Oak Hill Park, restrooms, which I know have been slightly some problems there, but also the stage that is now by the pickleball court. So I believe the first production will be Much to Do About Nothing for the Olean Theater Workshop this summer at that stage in Oak Hill Park. So there are so many options we have throughout the city. With Shakespeare in the Park, it's completely free. It's in the park. You bring a blanket, you bring a chair, you sit down, and for 90 minutes you get to kind of remove yourself from the hustle and bustle of the world and watch Shakespeare. And it's I'm sure they're going to do great things on that new stage. But also in that package was the Tri-County Arts Council. We are constantly doing things. If it's not in our own location, it's in other locations. We have classes, we have art, we have gallery shows, we have opportunities for artisans who make their work to sell their work as, actual businesses. We spoke a lot today about all of the businesses here in Olean, and a lot of times people just focus on the businesses that you can see, but there's thousands of businesses throughout Olean that aren't Starbucks, that aren't a cafe, that aren't, Ollie's. They're all of the ones. They're the construction, they're the plumber. I've always lived in Olean, New York, and I know that I can get a plumber to come to my house tomorrow if I need one. I don't know if you can say the same thing if you live in Toronto or New Jersey. Those two can answer that question. But there's so many businesses that we don't see because they're not the Starbucks, there's not the Tim Hortons, they're not the Big Lots, but they're the artisans, they're the guys working construction. If you need a new deck, if you need a new driveway, who are you going to call? We have those options in Olean, and I think that just adds to the overall business part of Olean. But with that, it adds to the culture and arts because we have so many options. If it's not Tri-County, it's the Olean Theater Workshop, it's the Olean Community Theater. We have great community theaters in Bradford and Cuba. So we have the ability to access all of these things at a very reasonable amount of money. So you can go and have go to the Beef and Barrel and then go take a show in and just kind of enjoy your life in that third space.
One other thing with the entertainment is St. Bonaventure University, there's the Center for the Arts, and they also have the Visual and Performing Arts Department that does concerts, the theater department that does plays. They also have at St. Bonaventure University, there's the art gallery, of course, but they are involved also with the Friends of Good Music and other organizations, and there's the Southern Tier Symphony as well. We have our symphony right here in Olean, New York. So there are musicians that come down from Toronto, all over the place, and come to play with the orchestra. And it's right here at our fingertips, right in Olean.
If I could just jump in, some less formalized opportunities that I really enjoy. The summer Music in the Park series. So you take your lawn chair, your blanket, you go on Thursday night to the park in the center of town and listen to a local band or a local duo for a couple hours. And that goes from May until September. Free entertainment, get to socialize a little bit with friends, neighbors that you don't get to see during the work week, possibly, unless you do go to Music in the Park. I love the farmers market on Saturday morning, same park, center of town. So less formal entertainment opportunities, but I think anytime folks gather, for something enjoyable and social, then we can call that entertainment. It doesn't have to be a marquee sign with flashing lights or a stage. It can be how we spend our leisure time, and I can't not speak about the Allegheny River Trail. I wish I had a penny for every lap I've made or every hour I've spent walking, biking, pushing when my children were babies, pushing buggies, when they were learning to ride tricycles and bicycles and they had wagons. I mean, every stage of life we have been on that river trail. Just beautiful. And again, I'm the person that loves the Four Seasons. Up front, up close and personal, Four Seasons right along the river, along that river trail. A lot of research out there about spending time in nature and the medicinal effects on your health. So I love entertainment, but I think my types of entertainment are just a little more individual, personal, and I like seeing different people at different places. So thank you.
Well, I wish we had more time, but thank you for being here on Olean Speaks for Itself. I've been your host, David. Special thanks to everyone featured in our exclusive news packages and everyone right here, right now. Sorry, I can't read for a second. The people you saw today live, and until next time, Olean has spoke for itself.
Thank you.